Have you ever noticed that sometimes the silence behind the scenes in football can actually be louder than any headline? Well, something unusual is happening at St. James Park. A quiet, almost invisible movement has started to catch the attention of those who closely follow Newcastle United. It's those little signs, those subtle clues that, when put together, reveal that something big is taking shape. And no, we're not talking about just any transfer activity. This is something that could directly impact the future of the most decisive position on the pitch. And if you're a passionate Magpies fan and want to stay up to date with everything happening behind the scenes at Newcastle, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel grow, supports our work, and ensures you won't miss any breaking news, exclusive updates, or the details of transfers, rumors and decisions that could change the future of our club. So don't waste any time, subscribe now and join us as we follow every step of this story that's only just beginning. Back to the story. The atmosphere inside the club right now is all about observation and planning. Quiet whispers suggest that Newcastle have their eyes on a key piece that could be crucial to solidifying the club's project over the coming years. And no, it's not a striker or a midfielder this time. The focus now is on a position that usually only becomes a talking point when there's a problem. But when handled properly, it brings security and stability to any squad. And the most interesting part, this isn't just about bringing in a new face. It's also directly linked to keeping hold of an experienced player who, although not a starter, has become a key figure behind the scenes. That's right, Newcastle aren't only looking for a young talent, but also working to keep a veteran in the squad, someone who could play a vital role in the adaptation, transition and strengthening of what is arguably the most sensitive position in the entire team. Yes, Toon fans. The information coming from The Athletic is that Newcastle are indeed negotiating the signing of James Trafford, a 22-year-old goalkeeper currently at Burnley. And more than that, the club also wants to keep veteran keeper John Ruddy, precisely to act as a mentor for Trafford if the deal goes through. The plan from the board is crystal clear: blend youth with experience, making sure that this young prospect has someone beside him to guide him not only technically, but also mentally, as he adapts to the pressure of wearing the black and white. And by the way, if you enjoy getting this kind of behind-the-scenes information that rarely makes it to mainstream media, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Here you'll always be ahead of the game, getting exclusive updates and the inside scoop before anyone else. This simple action makes a massive difference in helping our work continue delivering top-quality content for passionate Newcastle fans like you. The project is very clear. While Trafford would be developed to become the first-choice keeper for the future, Ruddy would take on more of an internal role, helping integrate the young goalkeeper, sharing his vast experience and, of course, being ready to step in if needed. And let's be honest, this strategy makes perfect sense when you look at today's market and the need to have a balanced squad, one with ready-made options and others being shaped for the future. For those who might not follow the championship closely, James Trafford has been one of Burnley's standout performers. At just 22 years old, he's emerged as one of the brightest goalkeeping prospects in the country, showing remarkable maturity, lightning-fast reflexes, and a ball-playing ability that's caught the attention of several Premier League scouts. And honestly, it's no exaggeration to say that he has all the tools to become one of the league's top keepers in the next few years. But as you can probably guess, it's not going to be that simple. Newcastle knows that prizing Trafford away from Burnley won't come cheap. Reports suggest the Magpies are prepared to put around £30 million on the table. However, as always, Burnley could play hardball, especially considering Trafford is one of the most promising assets in their entire squad. And here's something to think about: Burnley, who've just secured promotion back to the Premier League, are unlikely to easily part with one of the key pillars of their survival project. This negotiation is shaping up to be tough, full of back-and-forth discussions, and it'll require all the skill from Newcastle's board, not just to convince the player, but also to find a deal that works for everyone involved. If you're enjoying this content and want to follow every twist and turn of this negotiation, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. This is the place where you'll get all the updates from the first contacts to the behind-the-scenes meetings, the financial details, and of course, any unexpected plot twists along the way. What's really fascinating about this move is how it shows that Newcastle aren't just thinking about the present, they're planning for the future too. Trafford would be a long-term investment, someone to be developed and nurtured, with the hope that he becomes a reference point between the sticks for the next decade. Meanwhile, Ruddy steps into that backstage role, someone who isn't always in the spotlight but plays a fundamental part in building a winning squad. Sources close to The Athletic confirm that talks with Ruddy are already well advanced. The club wants him to accept this mentor role, even though his time on the pitch might be limited. And this, in practice, shows a really interesting shift in Newcastle's mentality, moving away from solving problems with quick fixes, and instead working with clear planning, proper structure, and a medium to long-term vision. And let's be honest, not every club can pull off this kind of strategy successfully. It takes a clear vision, a deep understanding of the squad's needs, and above all, a serious commitment to building a solid, competitive future. And that's exactly what Newcastle are demonstrating, whether it's by chasing young talents like Trafford or valuing experienced professionals like Ruddy, who might not always be in the spotlight, but are absolutely vital pieces of the puzzle. So now, the big question, will Burnley actually agree to sell? More importantly, is Trafford really willing to leave his guaranteed starting spot for a project where, at first, he might have to start as a backup, learning, developing, and waiting for his time to shine? These are the questions that make this negotiation so fascinating, and of course, we'll be following every step of it right here on the channel. That's why you shouldn't waste any time. Turn on the notification bell right now so you don't miss a single update. At any moment, new information could drop, a fresh detail, an insider scoop, something from behind the scenes that could completely change the direction of this deal. And you, as a subscriber here, will always be one of the first to know. The truth is, regardless of how this ends, this move from Newcastle makes one thing absolutely clear. The club isn't just focused on next season. They're building something robust, sustainable, and aimed at keeping the club at the top, not for a season or two, but consistently, with eyes firmly set on European competitions, major trophies, and, who knows, maybe even the Premier League title in the near future. And for you who've stayed with us until the very end, tell me in the comments, do you think investing £30 million in James Trafford is worth it? And what about keeping John Ruddy as a mentor? Is that a smart decision? I'd love to hear what you think about Newcastle's strategy. And of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the time, because this is the right place for anyone who lives, breathes, and loves everything about Newcastle United.